Mr. President, as we all know, in the months since Bridgegate, a special committee of this legislature has been investigating events that occurred here in Trenton and at the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. The committee has done important work in documenting the flaws in the organization and operations of the Port Authority. However, while it is important for us to understand who did what and why in this affair, the sponsors of this bill, and I know many in this chamber, believe it is far more important to fix the deficiencies that gave rise to the aberrant behavior. That is the task before us today. The time has come to fix the Port Authority. First, the structure of governance of the port. We need to end the toxic rivalry between New Jersey and New York appointees. We need to eliminate the conflicting lines of authority so that the executive director knows what the deputy executive director is doing. We need to end the patronage that has demoralized the organization. And we need to restrict the governors from using toll money for pet projects. And as long as we're discussing the organization of the Port Authority, I would say that we should not split this agency as some have proposed. New York is the one great metropolitan area in the world that is divided between two jurisdictions. And so the need for regional planning and transportation is as great today as it was in 1921. The second thing we need to focus on is we need to restore the original mission of the Port Authority. The Port Authority should not be investing in real estate projects or sending funds to the Metropolitan Museum or the Museum of Modern Art. The focus should be on transportation and economic development for the region. In addition, we need to examine key processes such as the purchasing and contracting functions. We also need to open agency records to the scrutiny by the press and the general public. And finally, we need to implement reforms that will greatly increase the transparency and accountability of the agency. This last point is the prime objective of this Bill S-2181. Right now, we have a multi-billion-dollar organization, larger than many states, an agency that I've been told spends about $1 million every hour, accountable to only two people, the two governors. The good news is that we can make fundamental improvements in the transparency and accountability of the Port Authority right now. And fortunately, that conclusion was reached on both sides of the Hudson. The current commissioners may recognize the need for transparency and accountability. Well, what about those who serve 20 years from now, or even 5 years from now? We must memorialize these reforms by statute, and we should advance that process today. Thank you very much, Mr. President.